Hi, this is Blake, founder of Astral Putters, and we got a great video for you today. So I'm ordinarily a right-handed golfer. I'm fit into a putter that worked great for me right-handed. I've been exploring, just kind of tinkering around with left-handed putters in our office, and it's actually something that feels pretty good to me. So I don't have a good fit for a left-handed putter, so we thought it'd be a great opportunity to show you how our fitting process works and kind of some fun of watching me putt left-handed to see if it's something that can actually work for me. So with that, let's jump into the fitting. So today we have a really fun putter. We've got a copper painted body and a Damascus face, so that's part of the fun of wanting to get fit left-handed. So let's dive in. So first thing that we do with every putter fitting is we check length as well as our lie angle. So we got some more materials of this online, but basic structure is we put a ruler from the ground up, measure the top of our wrist, and that tells us what the length of the putter ought to be. This one's 2 inches tall, but it says 31, so with the 2 inches taller, it's a total of 33, which is my standard length size. So next step in our process is measuring for lie. And with this is a very simple task. We lay down a ruler or a tape measure. We take our ball, set it out, and we either take a club upside down or a shaft in my case, and we're just trying to find what feels good when standing over the ball. So I'm going to approach this ball, I'm going to get over it as if I was in a stance, and just get it in my frame of exactly where I want it. This feels pretty good, and so I happen to know what this translates to, so I'm roughly 11.5, 12 inches away from the ball. That puts me into a 70-degree lie adapter. I've already got that installed in this putter head because it was one of our stock putters, but you can go to our fitting resources page, and it has a whole table that lays out based on the length of the club and this measurement to the tip of your toes to the ball what lie angle you ought to be in. So with that in mind, next step is starting to go roll some practice putts to identify what our miss preference or bias is. When we do this, we want to start by creating kind of a miss that we would expect to see and slowly start progressing to change the directional bias of the ball until I find something that fits. So for me, I have a tendency to pull miss. With a left-handed format, that's going to mean I'm going to miss right. When I'm putting in a right-handed format, that's pulling left. So we're going to start with something that I think is probably going to create a pull miss for me, and that's going to be our red hosel. So this is our smallest hosel, configured in the B1 setting. And so for B1 setting, we have the paint side down, and it's going to be the very first stop in front of the face. So paint side down, can't go on perfectly at 12 o'clock. If it's in at 1 o'clock, we'll go ahead and secure that in. So I'm going to screw in face insert and the lie adapter. There we go. Very simple installation process. Just a few screw turns. There we go. So as I mentioned, the first step is figuring out what our directional miss bias is. We use a device we call the gauntlet. It is this little plastic device sitting here. There's nothing special about this device. All it does is it's a gate that's 2 inches wide. It's a little bit larger than the diameter of a ball. So as you see, we're kind of barely fit through there. And we use something like this because what we really want to see is we want to see even the smallest deviation from your starting line, because that's kind of where the magic of our putters lives, is if we can get you starting the ball on line more regularly, you'll have better results. We'll start selling these on our website, but in all honesty, you can recreate it with a bunch of different things. And so that would be, you know, 2 sets of 2x4s spaced 2 inches apart, bricks spaced 2 inches apart, or even 2 golf clubs spaced 2 inches apart. So for our test, we're going to take and we're going to roll putts, and we're just trying to find a theme. You know, we're going to have some mishits, kind of identify when they're there, but really the objective is just to see if there is a consistent miss bias, and then that gives us what informs the next changes. Now, one of the most important parts is to kind of try to take your ego out. As we tell people, the more you miss, the more consistently you miss, the better we can fit you. So I'm aiming as if I'm trying to put it through here. I'm not putting a lot of emphasis to try to make it go through. I'm just trying to figure out, with this setting, what does the ball do naturally with my own swing. So we got a pull there, pretty bad one. A little bit of pull again. Okay. I did hit the right edge just subtly, but obviously a better roll than the first two. Right edge again. That was the left edge. Right edge. So just a few putts to start to get a theme. As I mentioned, I started somewhere where I expected that I would be missing this direction, and I want to start kind of by overcorrecting so that we can start to turn it in and see what those results are. So knowing that this did create a pull like I expected it to do, we're now going to go to the next hosel size up in the same angle position. So we were in our red hosel, we're now going to our white hosel. It is also going to be in the B1 position. And what this can do to the club, it's going to roughly maintain offset, but it is going to reduce the toe hang. And as a general rule, if we increase toe hang or increase offset, we're going to start to steer things towards a pull miss. If we start reducing toe hang or reducing offset, we're going to steer things to a push miss. And since I was pulling here, I want to start adding kind of some of that push bias into it. So we're going to take away toe hang to get to a club that should, in theory, start to steer my putt more towards a push as opposed to my tendency to pull. So we're back to our white hosel. Again, we're going to go painted side down on the putter. And we're going to go the first step in front of the face. So you can see here, we've got a little bit in front of the face. We're going to take and secure the screw. We'll rerun the same test and see what the results are. So pull again on that one. Again, still a pull, but obviously starting to get a little bit turned over. That one actually pushed a little bit on me. So there's still a little bit of a pull, but obviously a pretty good stroke. And again, fight the tendency to try to make it through and be more focused on just turning a repetitive stroke over and over again. So that was a really good putt. All right, so that felt really good. And one thing that we try to explain to people, our putters have the ability to go to 60 different shaft offset and toe hang considerations. And that's really there to make sure that there's something for everybody. For most golfers, what we're really looking at is we're trying to optimize the performance on kind of either side of something you already know. So, you know, we'd like to tell people that not many people really fit into a face balanced mallet. Not a whole lot of people fit into a blade, but the space between is pretty important. And that's kind of what we're really looking at. So for a lot of people, the fitting process can come down to 3 or 4 settings and just trying to really optimize something that's already working decently well for you. But for most golfers, we find there actually is room for improvement. So I felt pretty good with this setup. We're gonna go ahead and go to the process of moving up to the blue hosel. So this is again gonna take off yet more toe hang. And in theory, you should start steering my putts more towards a push. We'll see if it's a good correction or an overcorrection. And then we can decide whether that last setting that did feel pretty good was a really optimal setting for me, or whether we have still further room to improve. So we're now moving to our blue hosel. We're gonna be in the B1 position, which again is the very first step in front of the face. So painted side down. So for all 3 of these hosels, they kind of are pointed the exact same angular direction. They're just slightly longer or shorter. So this is our large hosel, and this will again take off yet more toe hang. So this should bring us closer to a face balance. So our first setting in blue or in red was 30-35 degrees of toe hang. The white dropped that toe hang down to 12 to 15 degrees of toe hang, and this one should take us to a face balanced configuration with all about with 1 shaft of offset. So here we are back to face balanced. Let's give this guy a go. Again, fight the tendency to correct and just focus on rolling a good putt and feeling like you're doing something that's repeatable. So that one, good roll, hit the right edge just ever so lightly. Nice roll. Good roll. Well, I said I liked the way that the white felt, but the blue still feeling very good. So now I probably jinxed myself, but all right, that's kind of hard to lie with the results. Look at that grouping on the back side of these ball. Okay, so pull miss there. All right, so I thought I was gonna like the white hosel. I still like the blue hosel quite a bit more. Now, for most people, I'd ask the question which one of these they made them more confident. That's a big thing for us, is confidence over even performance. We want you to stand over something and feel confident looking down, and if the best fitting putter isn't the most confident, you know, we'd like to explore different options. But in most people, you know, this fitting could be done in just those 3 steps. Now, I'm going to take this a step further just to kind of show you guys what the next evolution of these thoughts would be, because when I was missing here, I did have a few right hits, which tells me that I'm still pulling a little bit more. That's not a whole lot surprising with the right hand low configuration. So what we're going to do is, as you can see on this putter right now, there's just a little bit of offset. The shaft's just a little bit forward. We're going to take and rotate it so that the shaft is at 12 o'clock directly over the top. That means we're taking away offset. And that is another mechanism we can use to change the directional bias of your putter. So what I'm really exploring here is that when I take away offset, is there an improvement in performance or is there an improvement in feel? And so I'm not someone that particularly likes a face balanced feel, even though that's probably something that fits my stroke. So I tend to like a little bit of toe hang. So by going to this configuration with no offset, now I have the possibility to maybe perhaps leave some toe hang on the club, while at the same time correcting that kind of pull miss tendency. So we went from red, white, and blue, small, medium, large on the last configurations. We're gonna do the same thing here. But now we're gonna go to the A1 position. So the A1 position is what we call 12 o'clock. The red side will be face up, and we will go directly forward. So we'll go ahead and put it on our putter first. Cinch it down. No, I want to do that the other way. Sorry. All right, so we're now back in position. We have taken away all the offset in the putter. And we've gone back to our red hosel, so we're actually back at a little bit more toe hang than the first time. So we kind of have two different adjustments going on here at the same time. We've added toe hang, which is going to, as we talked about, start producing a little bit of a pull type of miss tendency. We've also simultaneously reduced offset, which is going to steer us a little bit towards push. So this is kind of where I say you can get the opportunity to maybe, if I like the feel of toe hang, the ability to adjust to allow me to have the feel that I want while simultaneously correcting the miss tendency. So same story as last time. We're going to putt and see if there's a tendency here and go further. All right, so we had a push miss there. I think that was a pretty bad stroke, if I'm being honest. A little bit of a pull that time. A little bit of a pull. Just a hair of a pull. All right, that one pretty straight through. That felt pretty good. I would say from a confident standing over the ball and a feel perspective, I like that. It may not have been my best performance, but the way that that felt was something that was pretty confidence inspiring that I was gonna hit the shot that I wanted to hit. We're gonna go back to our white hosel. So again, we're going from small to the medium hosel. That's gonna take away some toe hang, and we're gonna start steering a little bit further, in my instance, because I'm putting left-handed, towards the left. And we're just gonna see if there's room for improvement here, because everything that we're talking about is just really optimizing even the smallest level, and that leads to confidence and more made putts. All right, white hosel, same hosel position. So we're going into A1, painted side facing up, no offset. Hearing screws dropping. All right, so towing, we're just slightly under face balanced, sorry. So maybe 15 or so. Run through the same test. And again, we're looking for obviously performance outcomes, but also confidence. And I would say this is nothing to do with the putting, but again, just my eye seems to really like this no offset a lot better. I'm right eye dominant. So putting with this left-handed putter, you know, kind of what feels good out the eye is pretty important to me. Again, a little bit of a right. That felt really nice. That was a bad putt. I felt my hands break. All right, I'm gonna do some more here, because I would say that I, probably out of all the ones that I've hit so far, this is the setup that I think I'm probably gravitating towards. Oh, terrible putt. All right, last one. All right, guys. So where we've come to is that, you know, I've gone through a couple different settings, about 5. We'll have a continuous timer on this, but we're probably around 20, 30 minutes at this point of testing. I really liked the visual of the no offset, and it was a confidence-inspiring thing. I would say that from, if you were getting fit with us, or if I was fitting you virtually or in person, I would send myself home with the A1 position in the white, and then also to practice a little bit with the red to see which one actually out on the course feels better. And that's really one of the things that we really try to instill to our clients is that this fitting process isn't a static thing. You know, we want to find something that gives you confidence and you feel good with your performance with when you leave our shop, but we want that to be validated on course. So just like I would do to any client, I have something I think I like the best, but I'm going to give you 1 or 2 more options to take home with you. And so this is a pretty good picture of what most of our fits look like. We hope to give you an opportunity to fit you one day. As always, reach out with more questions. Better fit, better performance. That's Astral Putters.